Chapter 21. You are listening at novelfull.audio. It's none other than the cosmic swordsman Zamsha. A swordsman famous throughout the universe who aims to be the strongest in the universe. Lay down. Otherwise, die. Zamsha walked out slowly, raised the star Zanwen, and showed his murderous intention. Zamsha. Sarron recalled the identity of the person in front of him. After all, the other person's appearance was impressive, but this does not mean that Sarron will give in. Click. Click. His arms suddenly exerted force, and the crisp sound of bones cracking echoed. The magma man, who just thought he had a chance of survival, tilted his neck and died on the spot. If you want it, I'll give it to you. Sarron casually tossed the two corpses towards Zamsha, then clapped his hands and walked towards the group of ultra warriors, not caring at all. Zamsha's eyes gradually became angry. You, this rude guy. With a roar, Zamsha jumped over the corpse and slashed it with the Hoshi Zanmaru. He decided to teach the young ultra warrior in front of him a lesson he would never forget. Let the other party understand what the communication etiquette of a strong person is. Swish, the sword light slashed, buzzed and vibrated, and the air was distorted. Brother Sarron, be careful, the reminder sounded, but Sarron still did not respond head-on. He just turned his neck slightly to avoid the sharp blade, then he took a step forward and opened the distance again. How is that possible? Zamsha's pupils shrank sharply as he looked at the failed sword. He could definitely hit it just now. Swish, bend your knees slightly and hold the knife in both arms, accumulating strength, slashing out horizontally. The sharp chirping sound echoed, becoming an unavoidable situation. I've been hit. Zamsha was surprised, but suddenly his face turned pale with fright, just because of the Hashizanmaru in my hand. He was being pinched by the opponent with two fingers at will. It's not a matter of advancing a point, and it's even less true of a point retreating. Get out now, I can spare your life. Salon slowly looked sideways, his eyes exuding cold air. Zamsha is a pure cosmic being who has a heroic reputation and is admired by everyone in the universe. It's not something that the evil cosmic people like the magma people can compare to. Damn it. Don't underestimate me. How could Zamsha bear such treatment? He used his arms and retreated dozens of meters away, then he went all out and displayed superb sword skills. Want to prove yourself? Swish, swish, swish. The sword flashed down as fast as a hurricane, making it difficult to see clearly with the naked eye. There is also a faint roar of thunder, opening and closing, and the momentum is extraordinary. What a fast sword. Is this the strength of the universe swordsman? It's quite powerful, better than those two magma people. But it's a pity, he met Brother Sarron today. Dozens of ultra warriors stood aside, unable to intervene in the battle and could only whisper and discuss. How is it? Have you seen my strength? Zamsha swung his sword ruthlessly, and the light of the sword flashed past. Countless cracks in the earth suddenly appeared, here and there the hills were flattened, leaving bare flat land. Sarron responded calmly, and then moved. Ultra guillotine. The timing lights flashed crazily, and the thick black fog roared away. Dark energy is manipulated in Sarron's hands. It immediately condensed and transformed into a dark particle light knife that was hundreds of meters in size and more than half taller than himself. The lightsaber is completely black, constantly emitting dark energy fluctuations, like the arrival of demonic soldiers. You need to hold the upper and lower ends with both hands to hold it. It's my turn. Sarron exerted his strength with both arms and waved the light knife. In an instant, black mist swirled around and a cold air erupted. Zamsha's ever-changing sword moves. In an instant, they were all broken open. A real effort to conquer 10. P.S. Please data, please. Chapter 22, Sarron, if you cause trouble in the future, don't reveal your identity as a teacher. The sword move was broken. The aftermath was shocking, forcing Queen Zamshikang to retreat, but this retreat is the beginning of defeat. What is this? After taking several steps back, Zamsha stopped and was about to continue attacking, but I saw Sarron once again wielding the ferocious particle light knife emitting black mist. The blade is huge, the trajectory is slow, and countless dark particles spread like ripples in circles. this slow trajectory brought great psychological pressure to Zamsha. Fight! Zamsha rushed out bravely and waved the star Zanwen in his hand fiercely, but he hasn't taken a few steps yet, rumble, that I saw a terrifying sword light hundreds of meters in size coming from the front, cracking every inch it passed, and it couldn't bear the appearance of a large number of ferocious cracks. The distance is instantly close, a terrifying thought came to mind, will die, he will definitely die. Almost subconsciously, Zamsha held the knife horizontally and avoided it to one side, swish swish swish, as fast as a hurricane, the black mist sword light roared past, directly hit the blade of Zaixing Zanmaru. Bang! The blade broke and shattered into two pieces. Zamsha himself was even hit by a huge force and flew into the distance, turning into smaller and smaller star points. After that, no one was seen again. But the black mist light knife that Sarron waved casually did not stop and continued to wreak havoc. The blade traversed thousands of meters, leaving cracks everywhere, and the earth was incomplete, as if it had experienced a natural disaster and man-made disaster. The remaining Ultra Warriors froze again. They recalled the previous scenes in a daze, then they looked at the calm Salon. They were speechless for a long time, and could only take a deep breath, secretly persuaded. Routine operation. Routine operation. Outside Magma Star, Zoffy and Ace are approaching quickly. Magma Star, is this the place? Yes, brother Zoffy. Faster, I hope Salon will not get into trouble. 2 balls of fiery red light crossed the universe, and the speed was so fast that it was jaw-dropping. Suddenly, a black meteor flew out from Magma Star. The direction was facing the path of the fiery red light ball. Metalium ray. With a slight exclamation, Ace stopped without any hesitation. With his arms crossed, the energy of light began to gather, and he was about to emit light, smash the meteor in front of him. Ace, wait. That's not a meteorite. Zoffy immediately waved his hand to stop him, watching with Ultraman's eyes. Soon he discovered the true identity of the meteor. It was the cosmic swordsman Zamsha. What's wrong, Zoffy brother? Ace put down his arms unhappily and asked in doubt. Chapter 22. You are listening at novelfull.audio. It's the Space Sword Master. Zoffy crossed his arms and said in a deep voice. How could he be here? Space Sword Master. Ace looked at him with a penetrating gaze and confirmed the information. Just as the two were confused, the angry voices coming from the meteor attracted their attention. Ultra Warrior of the Kingdom of Light. Although I don't know your name. But I, Zamsha, will come to challenge you. Ah. Swish, the meteor disappeared in the blink of an eye and flew past Zoffy and Ace's shoulders, leaving the two in deep thought. Gradually, they seemed to realize what happened to Zamsha, Warrior of the Kingdom of Light. Apart from Salon, who else can make people so furious? Not to mention Zamsha, even Zoffy, Ace, Taro, have suffered this kind of pain. Let's go and take a look. Zoffy spoke slowly, not moving at the extremely fast speed when he came. Ace responded. Coincidentally, they also slowly descended towards magma. Ever since seeing what happened to Zamsha, they no longer had the previous sense of tension and urgency. After all, with Zamsha's strength, it is completely no problem for him to dominate magma, and Zamsha was defeated by Salon again. Plus, there are dozens of Ultra Warriors to help. It is obvious that it is easy for Salon to sweep magma. Rumble. Zoffy and Ace landed smoothly. The shocking scene was in sight. Corpses were everywhere, broken limbs were everywhere, and blood flowed like a river. Was it Salon who did it? Zoffy exclaimed in horror, and looked around blankly. It's no exaggeration to say that it's a hell on earth. Ace was silent, carefully feeling the energy particles remaining in the air. Very familiar, dark energy particles, 8-point light wheel, ultra guillotine. I taught them all myself. Ace coughed twice, ignored Zoffy's angry eyes, and pretended to look around. But he secretly complained in his heart. He regretted taking on the task of calling Salon. Moreover, he should have added one more sentence at the end. Salon, if you cause trouble in the future, just don't mention your master. Seeing Ace pretending to be dead, Zoffy snorted coldly and slowly followed Salon's direction. Brother Salon, there are really no magma people this time. Even if you turn the ground 3 feet, you can't find them. Yue reported the result with a bitter face. Because the 2 magma brothers appeared, Magma Planet was turned over several times. It was almost like turning the ground over. Salon patted Yue on the shoulder and said with relief, if you want to get involved, you must root out the grass. Facts have proved that even in the universe of the Kingdom of Light, there are many aliens and space monsters who will seek revenge. If we say we don't bear grudges, then we only mean Ultraman. How can a monster not bear grudges? But Salon doesn't want to see this kind of thing where the younger one is beaten and the older one comes. He doesn't want to see a bitter revenge drama happen. Since we are going to die, why not stay together as a family? Brother Salon, you are right. Yue nodded heavily. At this time, Salon suddenly thought of the true meaning of cutting the grass and eradicating the roots. He immediately issued an ultra signature and summoned the ultra warriors who were searching everywhere, prepared to leave Magma Star. The appearance of the ultra signature attracted the attention of Zoffy and Ace. They were able to determine Salon's specific location. They immediately headed in his direction. On the other side, after dozens of ultra warriors were assembled, they gave an order from Salon. They turned into a ball of light and flew out of Magma Star. They were about to leave. Salon suddenly stopped and turned around slowly. Everyone remember, the true meaning of cutting the grass and eradicating the roots. The next moment, looking at Magma Star, Sarron had no expression on his face. He crossed his arms in front of his chest and began to absorb energy frantically. Immediately, a thick black fog spread out, as if it had condensed into ink, and the whole person was immersed in the black fog. Accumulate power, pull energy, and take shape. Ultimate Guillotine. P.S. Please give me data, please, 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 please. Chapter 23 Split Magma Star with one knife. Father of Ultra, child, your heart is pure. The black light shone, dazzling and dazzling. The dark guillotine, as black as ink, slowly condensed and appeared, suspended in front of Sarron. It was more than 1,000 meters long. Even Sarron seemed insignificant in front of it. The power was suddenly urged, and the ultimate guillotine immediately trembled, and the wisps of dark energy condensed like substance. All the Ultra Warriors looked at this scene in shock and horror. They could feel that the power of this move was so powerful and extremely terrifying. At the same time, I also realized that Salon wanted to cut magma in half. Incredible. Terrible energy fluctuations. How strong is Brother Salon? It's amazing. I can see the destruction of Magma Star with my own eyes. This is the home planet of the Magma Star people. One sentence after another whispered. All of them were shocked and sighed. There was also a sense of weirdness in my heart. After all, the act of destroying a planet, it doesn't seem like something that the Ultra Warriors of the Kingdom of Light should do. However, it's weird, but everyone has long been accustomed to it. At this time, the energy is accumulated. The ultimate guillotine that emits dark energy and is filled with cold murderous intent is formed. With a thought, Salon mobilized all his strength and threw it out. Target, Magma Star. Fortunately, Magma Star is not big, just within the range that can be cut off by Salon, so. Swish, the next moment, under the gaze of everyone, the ultimate guillotine broke through the air and slashed, rolling up the cosmic wind, whistling. In just a blink of an eye, it crossed a distance of thousands of meters, cut right in the middle on Magma Star. At the same time, on Magma Star, Zoffy and Ace have arrived at the point where Ultra Signature was issued, but they saw a desolate scene. Where's Salon? Zoffy was suspicious, realizing that he seemed to be one step late again. They are all gone. Ace looked around and said helplessly. Chapter 23. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Because, he saw dozens of cracks on the ground caused by gravity compression. It's obvious, only Salon and the people he brought with him could take off like this, causing the Earth to explode, a real Earth destroyer. This kid. We worried about him for nothing. Ace, let's leave too. Zoffy waved his cloak, a little unhappy. After running here with great difficulty, the result was nothing. Not even a shadow of a person was seen. Oh, no, I saw corpses all over the ground. But at this time, Zoffy saw that Ace didn't respond for a long time, so he turned around, but he saw that the other party was staring blankly at the sky. Ace, what are you doing? Zoffy walked forward, and his palm unconsciously raised up. Brother Zoffy. You, look, what is that? Ace stayed there, staring at the sky, full of confusion. What? Zoffy put down his hand, looked up, and saw a thin black whip shadow passing through the sky. There is no starting point, and no end point. It seems to exist in the sky, but this thin black whip shadow is sliding down quickly and hitting the ground. Stared for a few seconds. As the distance approaches, waves of terrifying pressure suddenly increase, and they are getting stronger and stronger, and more oppressive. Why is it so familiar? Ace murmured, lost in thought. Zoffy was exactly the same, and had the same feeling. Suddenly, both of them trembled and looked at each other. They cursed in unison. Sarron. You loser. Sarron. You loser. Swish swish. In an instant, Zoffy and Ace focus their minds, release energy with both hands and use instant movement. Amid the collapse of the planet, the cracking of the earth, and the sound of fire and explosion, the two turned into a beam of light and dissipated from the spot, away from Magma Star. Outside Magma Planet, seeing the ultimate guillotine's effect, Magma Planet gradually fell apart under the attack of the light sword, and slowly split into two halves. Salon gathered his breath, and the energy timer light flashed red quickly. The other Ultraman saw this and immediately stepped forward. He stretched out his hand, wanting to transfer his light energy to Salon to help him replenish his energy. But when his hand was halfway extended, dozens of Ultra Warriors froze on the spot. Because, Sarron's timer light, which was still flashing red violently, was changing color at a speed visible to the naked eye. After just a few breaths, the red light dissipated and returned to deep blue, and the energy was replenished. Huh? What are you doing? Salon asked with a slightly sidelong glance. Once asked, the Ultramen laughed awkwardly and waved their hands quickly. Ha ha ha. I didn't do anything, Brother Salon, you saw it wrong. That's right, we are, cheering you on. Yeah, that's right, we are cheering you on. No one wants to lose face in such an embarrassing situation. Strange. Salon glanced at him and continued, go back. Just as he was about to embark on the return journey, a surprised voice came from afar. Sarron, are you all right? Sarron looked up and saw two red balls of light appear in front of him, dispersed, revealing their true appearance. One figure is Taro, and the other is, Father of Ultra. The Supreme Commander of the Space Guard. Captain. The current Grand Commander of the Kingdom of Light. A warrior who has undergone the baptism of the Ultra War, praised by the entire universe. Respected by everyone in the universe. Captain. 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 Immediately, everyone saluted respectfully. Children, I hope you are all safe and sound. Ultra Father has a steady personality and is like a father to all the young Ultra Warriors. Suddenly, Ultra Father looked at Salon. Child, you are very special. But your heart is pure. This honor. Sarron was confused, Taro was confused, and all Ultra Warriors were confused. What does it mean to have a pure heart? This doesn't look like a pure heart at all. Not only did other people not understand, even Salon didn't understand. He couldn't tell for a while, is Ultra Father sarcastic or sincere? No need to go into it, just listen. Ultra Father also saw that everyone was reacting and laughed lightly. Instantly, everyone was even more confused. You old man, what kind of Riddler are you? A pure heart still has so many twists and turns. Suddenly, Taro asked in confusion, where are Brother Zoffy and Brother Ace? P.S. Please give me the data. How can I write this? Oh, Ini, Ini, Chapter 24. Two men came out of the explosion. Hikari is missing. As soon as these words came out, everyone was stunned. Huh? Didn't you see? Taro asked again. All the Austrians shook their heads. How could I have seen Captain Zoffy and Instructor Ace after being on Magma for so long? The people I see the most are the Magma people, as well as, a certain Big Brother's personal show. Salon. Taylor was confused and asked the leader. Sarron thought for a moment and said resolutely, I haven't seen it before. We didn't feel the auras of Captain Zoffi and Instructor Ace on Magma. This answer completely puzzled Taylor. Isn't that what we agreed to do? The troops were divided into two groups. One group went to Magma Planet for rescue, and the other group notified the captain for reinforcements. Why can't it be right? Could it be not good? Brother Zuofi and Brother Ace must have been attacked by evil space beings. Taro clasped his fists and made an anxious sound. Father of Ultra, Sarron, yo, everyone became nervous instantly. As the defender of peace in the universe, Ultraman from the Kingdom of Light often encounters the machinations of dark forces. Any Ultra warrior who has grown up, no one can say that they haven't had this experience. Especially in this chaotic area, the probability is greatly increased. Chapter 24. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Just when everyone was about to start the search, two cold voices like the cold springs of the underworld echoed in their ears. We are fine, it was just dangerous just now. Hee hee. Magma star exploded. Well, it exploded quickly and fiercely, that everyone turned around. Under the reflection of the huge fire of Magma star's explosion, the two shadows were extremely narrow and long. Two people who seemed to have returned from hell were slowly flying over. Just then, Zoffi and Ace. Brother Zoffi, Brother Ace, where have you been? Fortunately, you are fine. Taro stepped forward and breathed a sigh of relief. He almost got into trouble. Zoffi and Ace looked at each other and smiled grimly, then they stared coldly at Salon, who looked like he had nothing to do with it. Salon. Things have already happened, just pretend to be dead. Captain. Zoffi and Ace came to Ultra Father and saluted slightly. Even though they are father and son, they still maintain etiquette in front of everyone. It's good that you're okay. Ultra Father patted the two on the shoulders, his eyes meaningful, but he didn't say much. It's easy to figure out the reason when things are connected, and this kind of powerful explosion, in front of two legendary Ultra warriors, in fact, it doesn't cause much harm, at most it's just a little embarrassing. On the side, Taro figured it out, and immediately suppressed his laughter in his heart, feeling an inexplicable sense of comfort. Let you two be so idiotic, usually like to slap Ultra. Start fighting as soon as you disagree. Now it's okay, retribution has come. As if he noticed that Taro was suppressing his excitement, Zoffi and Ace just looked at each other silently. No discussion, snap. Snap. Taro. Why are you so slow to come to help? Did you forget the order? Taro, you don't even follow such an important order. What do you want to do? Two Ultra slaps fell. Only the sixth Ultraman Taro was injured in this world. It's good that you're okay. Let's go back to the land of light. Ultra Father stopped the noisy crowd and pointed out the return route. The next moment, dozens of Ultra warriors turned into streams of light and disappeared in the chaotic area. Also disappeared at the same time, the magma planet that broke into countless small meteorites. The land of light. The Ultramen returned and were about to go their separate ways. A blue Ultraman from the Science and Technology Bureau was running over in a hurry. Captain. Something bad is going to happen. Holding the man who almost fell, Ultra Father said slowly, tell me slowly. Huff. After taking a few breaths, the blue Ultraman said anxiously. Hikari, Commander is missing. As soon as the news came out, it exploded like thunder. Not only Zoffi, Ace, Taro and others, even Ultra Father's mood changed significantly. What happened? When did it happen? How long has it been happening? Who knows about this? Who else has had contact with Hikari before this happened? Ultra Father was keenly aware of the strangeness of the matter and asked several questions in succession. I don't know. Anyway, Commander Hikari left quietly. No one was told where he was. Blue Ultraman was stunned by the question and responded weakly. After a pause, he added, by the way, Torikia is missing too. This should be useful information. Being watched by so many bigwigs from the Kingdom of Light, Blue Ultraman spoke more and more quietly. A few rings, Ultra Father said gently, child, you did a good job. The information is very useful. Remember to inform me in time if you have any new discoveries. Well, Okay, Captain. After speaking, Blue Ultraman glanced at Sarron twice, as if frightened. He left quickly and did not dare to stay any longer. After all, the sense of oppression is too strong. Even if Ultra Father, Zoffy, Ace, and Taro were added together, they didn't give people this feeling. Sarron spread his hands helplessly. He is really a gentle person, it's this damn residual value and the source of extreme evil. Captain, why did Hikari suddenly disappear, and quietly? As the director of the Science and Technology Bureau, he was also awarded the Meteor Medal. It shouldn't be. Zoffy's face was full of doubts, and his eyes fell on his chest. The Meteor Medal representing the highest honor of the Kingdom of Light, Taro also said at this time. Tragear also disappeared. As a close friend, he really couldn't figure out why Tragear would leave the Kingdom of Light. It was clearly agreed to defend the Kingdom of Light together. One person uses force, and the other uses scientific research technology. No matter what, find Hikari first. No matter what the result, everything is subject to his own wishes. Ultra Father set the task, and his eyes showed worry. The uneasiness in my heart grew stronger, but I couldn't find the root cause. Then Captain, let me carry out the mission. Ace took 2 steps forward and said in a deep voice, this mission is full of variables and requires strong strength to guarantee it, but now, the top combat forces of the Kingdom of Light have been heading to the Earth one after another. Take action yourself. Obviously this is the safest way to handle it. Well, Ace, I'll leave the mission to you. The father of Ultra nodded in approval. At this time, Sarron stepped forward. Captain, let me go with you. In an instant, everyone showed confused faces. P.S. Please give me some data, dear readers, even if it's just a little bit. That's fine. Chapter 25 The Riddler, the father of Ultra. Small Energy Light Group. Did you hear that right? Sarron, this kid, is so proactive. No way, is the sun coming out in the west? This thought appeared in the minds of Zoffy and Taylor. They all looked at Sarron with strange eyes, as if they wanted to find something suspicious, and Ace himself refused directly. Ahem, Sarron, you just destroyed the people of Magma Planet. You must be very tired. Why don't you go back and rest first? No matter what others think, anyway, Ace has long had a shadow towards Sarron. First, he was deceived and received several ultra slaps from Zoffy, and then he almost exploded with Magma Star. Who knows if there will be any new tricks in the future. No, I'm not tired, Sarron said righteously. No, you are really tired. Ace turned his face sideways, unwilling to say anything. Chapter 25. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Although the two of them are actually master and apprentice, but it can't change his mind at all. Sarron sneered in his heart. Ace, you old boy, do you want me not to go? This account is recorded. Then his eyes turned and looked directly at the real boss, Ultra Father. Captain, Sarron, am willing to go through fire and water for the Kingdom of Light and die. Sarron stood up straight, put his fist against his chest, and put on a serious posture. Zoffy, Ace, Zoffy. What a good boy. Ultra Father smiled with relief, then he looked at Ace. Sarron is the most outstanding Ultra Warrior of this generation. Ace, you have to train him well. Yes. Captain. Ace's face was petrified, but he couldn't violate Ultra Father's order. He could only bite the bullet and agree. Ultra Father nodded with relief, and the more he looked at Sarron, the more satisfied he was. He knew all the Ultra Warriors of the younger generation. The only one worth mentioning is Mebius. It's pretty good, but it doesn't have the ability to stand alone for the time being. From all aspects, Sarron is still the best. Let's go. Ace said hello and flew out of the Kingdom of Light first. Sarron followed closely. With his character of not getting up early without benefits, he certainly wouldn't work for nothing. Connecting the hazy memories of the previous life, plus the incident of Hikari's disappearance, and the system check-in location, the three combined, Sarron determined the location where Hikari went. That's why he volunteered. Shit. Humph. With the sound of takeoff, Ace and Sarron turned into a stream of light and flew away. After the two left, Ultra Father, Zoffy, and Taro did not leave immediately. Captain, the destruction of Magma Planet. How should it be resolved? Zoffy asked in a deep voice. And the Magma clan was slaughtered. Taro was also in a heavy mood, in front of Sarron. They did not mention it at the same time. Because it has already happened, we have to face it. As a member of the universe's light camp, it is not right to use such brutal deterrence. After all, the righteous side always has a bottom line, right? When asked, Ultra Father just recalled, when the Ultra War broke out 30,000 years ago, he and I fought against the Emperor people to defend the Kingdom of Light. The Emperor people were extremely powerful at that time. Even if he and I joined forces, we couldn't get the upper hand at all. If it weren't for the fact that I awakened the true power and relied on the holy sword of the Kingdom of Light in the end, I defeated the Emperor people. I'm afraid the Kingdom of Light would have disappeared long ago. Although many things happened later. As he said this, Ultra Father touched the wound on his waist and could still feel the faint pain. Zoffy and Taro nodded, obviously also understanding that period of history. After all, the Kingdom of Light was almost destroyed. At the same time, they also know who the so-called he is. This is a taboo figure that the Kingdom of Light is reluctant to mention. Sarron is very similar to him. But he is more rational and wise than him. Ultra Father said meaningfully, with a deep light flashing in his eyes. Zoffy and Taro were both shocked. I didn't expect Ultra Father to have such a high evaluation of Sarron, higher than that existence. You know, Ultra Father would never say that he is stronger than that existence. He never mentioned that there is any Ultra Warrior who can compare with him. Even the best Ultra Brothers can't do it. This shows how special and unique Sarron is. After saying that, Ultra Father said no more, turned around and flew away. Zoffy and Taro were left in a daze, thinking wildly in his mind, racking his brains, constantly recalling every word that Ultra Father said. But, why can't you extract the key information? You are so bad, old man. Being a Riddler again. Brother Zoffy. You are the captain of the Space Guard. Taro said expressionlessly and flew away directly. He did not give Zoffy any chance to speak, so, Zoffy was left alone to guess slowly. In the universe, two figures quickly passed one planet after another, shuttled in the vast and traceless universe. Under Salon's careful guidance and reminder, Ace also gradually realized that there was a high possibility of clues on the planet Aber. So he corrected the direction and headed forward. Salon also took advantage of his free time to punch in. Today's sign-in has been refreshed. Do you want to sign in? Sign in. Sign in successfully. Get small energy light ball *1. Click on the introduction, and a pop-up window will appear. Small energy light ball, light energy source, can give the host a lot of energy, no side effects and no restrictions. Small energy light ball. Compared with the large energy light ball, Salon found that the common point between the two is that they both provide energy, but the difference is the amount. The energy of a large energy light group can directly improve a small realm, but the small energy light group is not explicitly specified, but refers to a large amount of energy. As for how much a large amount is, there is no definition at all. However, Salon recalled that he had done so many fights during this period. Not only did he become more proficient in operating various light skills, but his control over his body and energy was also greatly improved. He vaguely felt that he was much more stable than when he just entered the middle level of the elite level. As for whether he could take advantage of the opportunity to break through, Salon decided to give it a try. In addition, another advantage of the system space is, in fact, you don't need to take out the reward items, you can use them directly, which is concealed. Salon slowly absorbed the energy. After only a few breaths, he immediately felt that a small bottleneck of his own was broken. Successfully entered the elite high-level combat power. The system bar also clearly wrote, host, Salon Ultraman, strength, elite high level, skills, talent, check-in location, Aberstar, and the improvement of Salon's small realm caused a slight fluctuation in the surrounding energy, immediately attracted Ace's attention. P.S. Please give me the data. I'm still typing at 12 o'clock, Chapter 26 Bimonston. Tragear. Aber Life Form. Bagaru. Sarron, you. Ace turned his head suddenly and looked at Salon for a few times. Instructor Ace, what's wrong? Chapter 26. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Sarron responded calmly. It's okay. Ace wanted to say something, but when he thought about not encouraging the other party, he swallowed his words. Sarron naturally knew what Ace was thinking, but he was relieved and saved the trouble of explaining. After all, it is also a troublesome thing to improve strength too quickly. Elite high level, not far from legendary strength, and the Ultra Brothers are all in this realm, although they are all legendary strength. The gap between each small realm is even greater, maybe only one or two small realms, which is bigger than the gap from elementary to elite. Just when the two people had different thoughts, in the distance, the beautiful Aber star gradually appeared, instantly attracting attention. That's it. Ace called up the interstellar map to check the coordinates and terrain conditions, all of them matched. Suddenly, a bird's cry rang out, a huge bird-shaped figure appeared in the field of vision of the two. There were very sharp yellow-green claws on the head and hands, the pentagonal shape and the strange halo of the abdomen are even more eye-catching. Why is it this? Ace instantly recognized the identity of the strange bird in front of him, the space monster Bemonston. A powerful creature that feeds on the dust tail of the Ashma comet and constantly seeks energy in the universe. More importantly, it can absorb all light skills. Even Jack Ultraman has suffered countless losses. If he had not obtained the Ultra Bracelet, he would have found it difficult to deal with this space monster. Sarron, you go to Aber Star first. Leave this monster to me. As soon as the thought turned, Ace pushed Salon away. He went out and hit Bemonston. Instructor Ace. Sarron didn't have time to say anything. He saw that Ace had already strangled Bemonston. He turned into a ball of light and fell to a remote planet. At the same time, a roar sounded. Sarron, be careful. If you feel something is wrong, wait for me on planet Arbo. Boom boom, only the sound of heavy objects falling was heard, and the figures of Ace and Bemonston could no longer be seen. Sarron nodded heavily and turned to fly towards planet Arbo. At this juncture, he chose to believe, after all, Ace, who has legendary combat power, will definitely have no problem dealing with a Bemonston. It just takes time, after all. The five-pointed star-shaped mouth on Bemonston's abdomen can swallow all energy. On planet Arbo, the winding river extends in a winding way, and the white mist is like green smoke. On both sides of the river, there are green buds swaying in the wind, showing a shady green scenery. A large number of crystal life forms on planet Arbo are scattered, forming a beautiful scene. At this time, a blue and silver figure walked on the grass, looking confused. Captain Hikari, where have you been? Are you also looking for power? Traeger was the first person to discover that Hikari was missing. He immediately followed his trail and left the Kingdom of Light to search. Finally, he landed on planet Aber, but even so, he still lost his trail and failed to keep up with Hikari. Traeger felt the quiet atmosphere around him and the breeze blowing gently. The urgency and depression in his heart were immediately relieved. This planet is so beautiful. Traeger couldn't help but sigh, realizing why Hikari passed by this planet. It is indeed a good place to relax the mind and let go of the past depression, but at this moment, the crystal life form transformed into a human outline in the air and issued a reminder. Leave quickly, this planet is about to be destroyed. Huh? Why is this happening? Traeger stretched out his hand in disbelief, looking a little angry. Why would such a beautiful planet be destroyed? The life form of Aber planet outlined an inverted image. The ferocious Bagaru was devouring the life of Aber planet wantonly, making a terrifying laugh. No. This abominable monster. Traeger clenched his fists tightly, furious. At this time, the life form of Aber planet asked a soul-searching question. You are also a life form of light. Are you a member of the Space Guard? That when asked, Traeger lowered his head, like a defeated lion, and his momentum suddenly withered. I'm just a scientist. I'm not a member of the Space Guard, and I don't have as strong combat power as them. Hearing the answer, the life form of Aber planet sighed in a humane way. Before, there was also a life form of light like you from Aber planet. He is also blue all over, and he is also a scientist. When Traeger heard this, he immediately raised his spirit. It's Commander Hikari. Yes, his name is Hikari. The life form of Aber planet replied. Then may I ask, where is Commander Hikari? Is he still on this planet? Tragear asked anxiously. He left. The life form of planet Aber spoke. The clue is broken again. Tragear sighed. After so long of searching, the result is still the same. He should come back, but whether he can see the intact planet Aber again, that's hard to say. The life form of Aber star changed the subject, bringing with it a sad mood. Without the ability to resist foreign invasion, it can only sit and wait for death. How painful and helpless, and can only pin hope on the illusory legend. Tragear was also helpless, and secretly in pain in his heart. Why didn't he have strong power? Why could he only watch things happen, but couldn't provide any help? For a while, both the life form of Aber Star and Tragear fell into loneliness. Leave. Don't get hurt here in vain. The life form of Aber Star sent out the last kindness, and then gradually dissipated and turned into a crystal life form. Tragear was in pain. Suddenly, the purple-black fog whistled and blew, and the rich dark power erupted. A huge dark tornado formed on Aber Star. The hurricane was terrifying and oppressive, rolling up clouds, and the grass whistled and bent its waist. Countless crystal life forms were blown into the air, lonely and rootless, scattered in the wind, and had no power to resist. Bagaru, with a hideous figure and wings spread out, descended from the sky, extremely ferocious. His whole body exuded a disgusting evil and brutal aura. Roar! As soon as he landed, Bagaru let out a painful roar, and greedy saliva flowed from his hideous mouth. He needed energy, countless energy. Countless energy is needed to recover from injuries. P.S. Please give me some flowers and data. Chapter 27 Hikari's appearance. The little golden man operating in secret. Roar. Bagaru's arrival instantly caused fear on the planet Aber. Countless crystal life forms were afraid of being swallowed, so they flew up and fled in all directions to avoid Bagaru. On the other hand, Bagaru was like a hungry tiger that had been hungry for days and nights and saw a large flock of sheep. He immediately gave a creepy smile, and his hideous flesh-winged mouth opened. He devoured unscrupulously. In response to this, countless crystal life forms wailed. The expected crisis finally arrived. But the legendary hero did not appear. Chapter 27. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Damn it! Infinite anger surged in Tragear's heart. The fists were clenched tightly, making a clicking sound. Take courage, rush towards Bagaru, who is devouring the crystal life form. Ultraman from the land of light. Seeing the figure rushing towards him, Bagaru sneered, and then shot out his ferocious claws. Bang! A claw was struck in the abdomen. Tragear was knocked hundreds of meters away and huddled on the ground in pain. He stretched out his hand weakly and screamed in pain. No. No. But obviously there is no way back. After all, he is just a blue Ultraman with no power. Jie. Ultraman from the Kingdom of Light, please save this feast for last. Bagaru's mouth was open with blood, and his ear-piercing laughter echoed. Immediately, it spread its fleshy wings and preyed on the crystal life forms in the air. Energy. 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 The last time I suffered an inexplicable attack from Tianyi, it would have been impossible if I hadn't relied on my ability to shed skin instantly. I was afraid that I would have died long ago. Roar. Devouring the life form and pouring energy into his body, Bagaru trembled all over and became more and more arrogant. Tragear was in so much pain that he could only lower his head and hit the ground. Over and over again, he began to question himself. Why are you so weak? Why are you so helpless? Why can I only watch things happen but cannot resist? However, Tragear did not notice it. In the darkness, a pair of cold eyes were watching everything silently. That's it. According to the trajectory of time, this incident will sow the seeds for Tragear's faith to waver. Well, the only weird thing is, how could this Bagaru be injured? Strange. I hope it won't have any impact. A figure wearing golden armor, a white skirt, and red gems on its hands was quietly observing in the dimensional space. It is the leader of the kingdom and the ultimate life form, Absolute Tartarus. He was given a nickname, Little Golden Man. Seeing that Bagaru was unstoppable, Tragear was heartbroken. The vision inside the eyes gradually blurred, gradually turning into darkness. But right now, boom. A ball of blue light fell from the sky, the intersecting lines of blue and silver, and the 2 rows of silver dots on the chest are dazzling. Sir Hikari, Tregear woke up suddenly and struggled to his feet, the dust mist dissipated, and Hikari's figure was revealed. Look around, the helpless crystal life form, Tregear struggling on the ground, the wild and messy ground, and the ferocious Bagaru. You! I'm going to kill you. Hikari's eyes showed terrifying anger, and he clenched his fists fiercely. The next moment, he rushed forward violently, and blasted out a heavy punch that gathered all his strength. Boom! Bagaru didn't react, and the door on his back was hit hard. He staggered for several steps before stopping. Turning around, he saw another blue Ultraman appearing. Ha 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 ha! Another food! Bagaru couldn't help but reveal a ferocious smile and let out an extremely arrogant laugh. 2 sharp and huge claws were raised high, extremely proud. You deserve to die. Heat load ray. Hikari was so angry that his whole body was shaking with anger. Open your hands and quickly form an up and down posture with your palms, and the energy particles gather like a halo. Swish, swish, swish. Then a high heat ray was emitted. Seeing the attack coming, Bagaru didn't panic and instantly opened his flesh-winged mouth, swallow and absorb all the light energy. That's it, the sarcastic voice came out and fell in Hikari's ears like thunder. How is it possible? Hikari couldn't help but take 2 steps back, shocked. I thought that no matter what happened, I could get along with Bagaru, but it turns out that the gap between the 2 sides is too big. You energy bodies of light, are so tempting. Bagaru took 2 steps and appeared in front of Hikari like a ghost. The huge meat claws are shot fiercely. Bang! Hikari fell several hundred meters away and fell next to Tregear. Sir Hikari, are you okay? Tregear asked nervously as he hurriedly helped Hikari up. Damn it, how could this happen? Hikari covered his chest and said in a difficult tone, we will never let him succeed. He shouted loudly, got up and rushed out again. The right wrist flashes blue light, the knight's aura appears immediately, and the knight's lightsaber blooming with blue light appears. Aha! He slashed with his lightsaber and struck through the air. It fell on Bagaru's body in an instant, making a sizzling sound. Feeling the pain, Bagaru became fierce and with a wave of his giant claw, he directly lifted Hikari up. I want to eat you. Hikari struggled in pain and was unable to resist. Tregear struggled and rushed forward, but was lifted up by Bagaru's claw. If I eat you, I will become stronger. In an instant, Bagaru raised the 2 of them high, laughing wildly. Originally, he didn't want to get entangled with Ultraman from the Kingdom of Light, for fear of getting into unnecessary trouble. He only planned to eat the life form of Aber and leave, but the past injuries could not be healed for a long time, and the pain brought by daily life was too torturous, so he changed his mind. As long as he ate the 2 Ultramen in front of him, everything can be solved. Damn! Bagaru! You! Hikari and Tregear struggled constantly, but it was still ineffective. Even if Hikari gained the aura of a knight, it was still the same. In the original work, if Bagaru didn't want to fight, I'm afraid Hikari himself would not get any good results. The life form of Aber couldn't watch the tragic scene. It immediately wrapped around Bagaru's body and released a strong electric current. Easy. The deep blue electric light wrapped around, but did not let Bagaru let go, but instead stimulated a stronger ferocity. If you want to die, you can die in a while. Bagaru shook off the possessed Aber life form, and the ferocious beast opened its mouth, slowly absorbing the light energy of Hikari and Tregear. In the dark, the little golden man Tartarus was confused. Why didn't things develop according to the normal plot? P.S. Please give me some data. Chapter 28 Extremely Strong Aura. Activate the powerful sublimation form. The little golden man Tartarus hesitated. Chapter 28. You are listening at novelfull.audio. It feels like what happened on this timeline is going a bit off. Bagaru should not have chosen to retreat after devouring the life forms of a Bi-Star. Hikari was left in pain and remorse, and Tregear even saw his former commander plunged into darkness, and he had greater doubts about the definition of light and darkness. Strangeness. If this continues, the 2 of them will die. Tartarus glanced a few more times, seeing that there was no change. He was ready to leave this timeline, but right now. There was a continuous burst of air from the sky. What's going on? Tartarus cried out in surprise. Look up. A group of dark blue meteor light rushed over, dragging its tail like fireworks. Boom. The pop light ball directly hit Bagaru's back, causing a huge roar. With the sudden force, Bagaru cried out in pain and fell hundreds of meters away. It rolled on the ground several times in a row, crashed into a hill, and staggered. Sudden changes. Hikari and Tragear, who had narrowly escaped death, gasped for air and were extremely weak. In the hazy field of vision, an imposing figure filled with powerful evil energy was reflected. The body is mainly blue, with muscle outlines outlined by silver-white lines on the outside. There are strong muscle bulges on the chest, armor and abdomen, showing a strong sense of strength. At this time, the figure was maintaining a flying kicking posture, half crouching on the ground, and remaining still. It's Ultraman from the Blue Clan. Hikari pushed himself up and made a sound of horror. Who is it? Tragear was exactly the same, shocked. Although it was just a back view, the two of them were still very clearly distinguishable. At this time, the figure from behind slowly turned his head and looked sideways. Those upturned, irregular pentagon-shaped eyes, with the slightest bit of cold air escaping, shocked everyone on the spot. In an instant, Shikari, Tragear, the life form of Arbor, and Tartarus all felt that the air was several minutes colder, and they felt like they were suffocating. It's Sarron. Tragear suddenly screamed in shock. I couldn't help but recall the other party's shocking behavior in the Ultra Arena. Salon, be careful. Suddenly, Tragear reminded loudly. You are looking for death. But like a ghost, Bagaru had already rushed out from the rubble of the collapsed hill. The fleshy wings covered with sharp teeth flapped and bit at Sarron. In just the blink of an eye, fleshy wings like sharp teeth and a big mouth appeared behind Sarron. I want to swallow Sarron whole in an instant. Regarding this, Sarron took his time and stood up slowly. He didn't even look at Bagaru directly. Just in the electric light and flint, the black fog suddenly spread, and he looked back and slashed down with his right palm. Crazy turning of the black light gear appears. Sizzle. Cayenne, the sharp gears cut rapidly and landed on Bagaru's flesh wings, causing countless dirty blood to splatter. Work hard again. A huge piece of meat wing was cut off on the spot. Bagaru let out heart-piercing screams and screams, unable to hold back the pain of broken flesh wings. Isn't this okay? Sarron slowly stepped forward, half raising his right hand. The black light gear was still turning crazily and buzzing. Damn Ultraman. Bagaru covered his fleshy wings that were bleeding profusely, and kept retreating, uttering hatred. Is this abominable? Sarron's pace suddenly quickened and he appeared behind Bagaru, waving his halo. Sizzle. Poof. The other half of the meat wing was torn off on the spot. It's you. It's you. Suffering another sudden blow, Bagaru howled in pain, his eyes completely filled with fear. At the same time, he keenly felt the same dark aura. Sarron didn't take it seriously and looked at the struggling Bagaru indifferently, totally cold. Aside, Shikari and Tragear were both dumbfounded, muttering to themselves. It's the same Ultraman Blue, why is he so fierce? The Abai star life form was very excited, as if it knew who the legendary brave was, that is the warrior from the Kingdom of Light who looks extremely fierce. In the dark, the little golden man Tartarus froze, his eyes becoming more and more confused. When he first met Sarron, he thought he was some kind of dark Ultraman, but they found that there was no trace of the other party's history at all. No, this kind of variable cannot exist. Tartarus' eyes were fierce, then he sneered and said, let me give you something fun. Then he waved his hands, and a different dimensional door emitting golden light opened. Immediately, a neighing beast roar came from inside. Damn. Bagaru retreated continuously. A pair of flesh wings were crippled, and his aura became weaker and weaker. His powerful hunting ability is based on this, therefore, any monster, even living and inanimate objects, will be swallowed instantly. And after devouring it, his body and abilities became stronger. Bagaru had no chance of winning at this moment, and he could not win at all. He could feel it. As long as he moved, he would be killed by the fierce Ultraman on the opposite side. He could not run away either, because Hikari, Tragear, and the life form of Aber had surrounded him, blocked all the retreat routes. The next moment, Hikari and Tragear rushed out together. He faced Bagaru, who had no fighting power at all. He was beaten back step by step, wailing in pain. On the other side, seeing that the overall situation was decided, Sarron summoned the system sign-in panel. He planned to complete the sign-in. Suddenly, the life form of Aber approached, lingered around Sarron, and transmitted crystal-clear energy. Legendary hero, this is a gift from Aber. Stimulated by this, the system issued a prompt, ding. Sign-in successful, obtained talent, human martial saint. Ding. Receive the gift from the life form of Aber star, trigger 100 times crit, and reward upgrade. Ding. Congratulations to the host for releasing the hidden power in the body and activating the powerful sublimation form. Legend below ignores the realm gap, and forcibly improves the strength of 3 small realms. P.S. Please ask for everything. Chapter 29 Multi-level gifted human martial saint. King Grant. Oh my god, a new form is created. Sarron was shocked. Unexpectedly, after the gift from the life form of Aber star, he was able to stimulate a new form. Compared to the normal state, the powerful sublimation form will bring a terrifying improvement in the quality of the whole body. Chapter 29. You are listening at novelfull.audio. On the basis of normalcy, continuously cross 3 small realm steps in one breath. More importantly, it ignores the huge gap between the elite level and the legendary level. Considering Sarron's current elite level strength, once the powerful sublimation form is turned on, it will reach legendary mid-level combat power. That is to say, entering the sequence where the Ultra Brothers are. Or in other words, Sarron, who has many talents, most likely even stronger than the Ultra Brothers. In order to suppress the unbearable surprise in his heart, Sarron set his sights on another sign-in reward, human martial saint. Multiple, you are the darling of thousands of martial arts. From the day you practiced martial arts, you knew that you would be the leader of the martial arts and the true human martial saint. All martial arts moves are nothing more than tricks in your eyes, you can master them easily. Another multi-level talent. And it's also a talent that strengthens one's martial arts talent. Sarron feels that the sign-in rewards are too rich, and it's all about what you need. The multi-level talent Taboo Magic God is a talent that truly strengthens one's ability to comprehend spells and light. The multi-level talent of the human martial saint is the talent that strengthens one's ability to learn fighting skills. One is ranged and one is melee. Sarron feels complete. Let's see who dares to say that Ultraman Blue is not born to fight and has no strength to tie a chicken. No. I am a completely opposite example. Beyond the planet Arbor, defeated the formidable space monster Bemonstein. Ace was flying towards Arbor in a hurry, worried that Sarron had suffered an unknown attack, just flew into the atmosphere. Through ultra sight, he saw a horrifying scene. The high-dimensional predator Bagaru, who has always been known for his cruelty, insidiousness and cunning, is now in an extremely tragic situation. Because his flesh wings were cut off, he was severely injured by Sarron. The energy in the body is constantly leaking out, and the combat power is declining crazily, slowly declining from elite level, elite, advanced, intermediate, dropped 1 level at a time. As a result, now facing 2 blue Ultraman who usually looked down upon them, they had no power to fight back. He was beaten to death in an instant. Ace was surprised at first, surprised that Shikari and Tragear could defeat Bagaru, but when I saw Sarron standing aside as if nothing had happened, everything is clear. Then Ace breathed a sigh of relief. It's okay. Just as he was about to land, a sudden burst of dazzling golden light caught his eye. One look, then he discovered that a golden space-time door slowly opened. Boom boom boom. Then a huge mechanical monster stepped out. The whole body is covered in metal armor, and countless lights on the abdomen flicker on and off, constantly flashing when moving. The whole body exudes an aura of terror. How could it be King Goulant? Ace roared in shock. King Goulant is a super monster born by the fusion of monsters and evil spirits floating in the universe using the Universe Emperor Zuda. He is extremely powerful. At that time, all the power of the 6 Ultra Brothers was gathered, only then was he able to win with difficulty. Why are you here? The next moment, King Goulant's actions made Ace even more shocked and angry, just because King Goulant stepped out of the golden dimensional door, without any hesitation, he crazily crashed into Sarron, who was watching the battle. The speed is so fast that it's jaw-dropping. In just the blink of an eye, he almost hit Sarron's back with a sneak attack. Sarron, get out of the way. Ha! Ace let out an angry roar while he concentrated all the energy in his body and directed it to his legs. Like a burning red flame, it galloped and kicked towards the charging King Goulant. Seeing this, Tartarus in the dark sneered, "It's too late." But the next moment, Tartarus looked shocked, as if he had seen a ghost. How is this possible? The other end. Roar! The charge launched by the super-combined monster King Grande was so powerful that the ground cracked and shook as it passed, the sharp thorns emitting a metallic cold light on the top of the head stood up straight, and a deep chill erupted. After just a few breaths, he appeared behind Sarron. As long as there are 2 or 3 more breaths, it can guarantee that the Ultraman in front of you will be broken into 2 pieces with 1 blow. However, at this moment, King Goulant suddenly looked at the other party and turned his head slightly. At some point, he was looking at himself with extremely cold eyes, contempt, disdain, indifference, ridicule. King Goulant instantly felt a strong sense of humiliation. Ultraman, who do you look down on? Ho ho ho. The roaring beast roared. King Goulant crashed out at a faster speed. Bang. The impact occurs instantly, but King Goulant was confused. The expected bloody scene did not appear. Instead, it was like hitting a towering marble wall. I want to slowly raise my head, but I found that I couldn't move. With this little ability, how dare you go crazy? What kind of gang are you in? Hearing the cold rebuke, King Grant was furious and wanted to lift up the ferocious Ultraman in front of him, the next second. But he was surprised to find that he was being slowly lifted up. Get out! A fierce shout, boom. King Grant was thrown hundreds of meters away on the spot and fell heavily to the ground with a loud bang. Instantly, everyone fell into a stagnation and silence. Ace, who was using Ace's electric kick, slowly dissipated the energy, the flames faded, and the whole person stood still in mid-air. Tartarus fell silent. Hikari, Tragear, the life form of Aber Star, Bagaru, and all the crystal life forms on Aber Star, all stared blankly at the scene in front of them. I don't know when, Sarron's appearance changed drastically. The original body was mainly blue, with the outer side covered with silver white lines outlining the muscle outline. The chest armor and abdomen have strong muscle bulges, showing a strong sense of power. It is roughly the muscular body of 7X, plus the pattern similar to a guru, but now there is a shocking change. P.S. Hey, I ask for data every day. Chapter 30. The enhanced sublimation form appears. The terrifying physical strength that crushes the whole audience. It was originally blue as the main body, and the silver white lines outlined the pattern. Now it is dark blue like ink as the main body, and the silver white lines are dyed into a dazzling black, forming a simple but mysterious pattern along the body. At the same time, the muscles all over the body quickly bulge and harden, as if they have become substantial. The edges and corners are clear, as if they are possessed by steel armor, and they fit tightly. There are even hideous iron blocks bulging on both sides of the arms and calves, like blades. The chest timer is sunken, and it changes from a vertical lamp shape to an oval timer lamp emitting a faint light, as if there is endless energy inside. Chapter 30. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. More importantly, 2 devil-like horns grew out from the sides of his head. It was the enhanced and sublimated form formed by the release of the dark power in Sarron's body and the externalization of his extremely fierce talent. Sarron exhaled slowly, but that was all. The terrifying pressure spread rapidly and gave people an extreme sense of oppression. It was as if the heart had suffered a heavy blow. For a moment, everyone was silent. Sarron, this kid, has developed the power in his body, Ace said silently in his heart. with a few sighs, he knew that Sarron was stronger than himself at this moment. There was a sense of pride of a disciple's graduation. Too strong. Really too strong. Hikari and Torikia were even more shocked. They looked at each other in shock. They couldn't believe that this was the blue Ultraman in front of them, just this terrifying sense of oppression, powerful fighting power, and unparalleled momentum, not to mention the blue Ultraman. I'm afraid it's all the Ultraman of the Kingdom of Light added together. It's hard to find an Ultraman that gives people the same feeling. The life forms of the planet Aber and countless crystal life forms turned into a breeze of willow catkins, flying happily around Salon, as if expressing congratulations. As for the little golden man Tartarus in the dark, his expression was extremely ugly. How could it be? How could such a thing exist? Obviously, his whole body is filled with the purest dark energy, but he is a rational Ultraman of the Kingdom of Light. Tartarus' tone was difficult, and his fists were clenched tightly. He didn't expect that. He just wanted to witness Torikia's blackening and take him away, but it led to so many things, and saw, this extremely unusual existence. No, he must be destroyed. With a firm idea, Tartarus ordered King Grant to attack again. Roar! A monster roared, waking everyone up. Sarron, be careful, this is King Grunt. At least he has the strength of a legend. Ace dodged and came to the right side of Sarron, posing a fighting stance, ready to fight. Let's fight together. Hikari and Torikia also came and stood on the left side of Sarron, at this time. King Grunt has already rushed up, the metal armor covers it, giving people a feeling that it is extremely difficult to break through its defense. The huge steel pliers in both hands swung, with great momentum and terrifying destructive power. Ha! Hum! Ace, Hikari, and Torikia roared, rushed forward, surrounded and attacked King Grunt. Instantly, they collided with King Grunt. Boom! A huge collision sounded. Once they collided, Ace and the other two were directly knocked dozens of meters away by King Grunt's metal body. After a lot of effort, he finally stabilized his swaying body. Damn it! So strong! What a terrifying defense! The skin of this mechanical monster is too thick. Ace, Hikari, and Torikia took a nervous posture, staring at King Grant with eyes like torches. Be alert to every move of the opponent. After all, this is a powerful monster of legendary level. It was also a super combined monster that the 6 Ultra Brothers had to use all their means to defeat. Compared with Ace and his friends, King Grant seemed to be very relaxed, just relying on his super strong defense. He could easily block all attacks. In the gap, he fired lasers or waved his huge pincers. He could immediately force Ace and his friends to dodge. No one dared to relax, and no one dared to face such a pincer head-on. Just as Ace and his friends were retreating step by step, Salon, who had been silent all the time, spoke. Instructor Ace, you guys step back. I've adapted to the new form. Sarron quietly felt the power surging in his body and slowly walked forward. With every step he took, the ground was sunken and dark energy was dissipating. Click. Click. As he walked, Sarron slowly loosened his shoulders, and his armor-like strong muscles made a low hum, like the roar of a tiger and a dragon. When Ace and his men heard the sound, they were just about to say that they would fight together. They saw Sarron standing firmly in front of them, and his momentum suddenly increased. With his center, an astonishing dark energy wave burst out, spreading out layer by layer. Then, countless spiderweb-like cracks spread out on the ground. It was hundreds of meters wide. You should know that the height of ordinary Ultraman is only 50 or 60 meters. Being shaken by the surging air waves of indiscriminate attacks, not only King Grant retreated a long distance, Ace and his men were also shaken far away. If Ace had not helped, Hikari and Tragear would have suffered a greater impact. Come! Sarron stretched out his muscular right arm, with his palm slightly bent, launched a provocative attack. Roar! King Grant was stimulated, moved his huge body, and rushed toward Salon with his strong defense. In response, Salon did not dodge or evade, but put his hands behind his back. Boom! 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 The ground shook with every heavy step taken by King Grant. The distance was close. Within the attack range, the huge clamp chopped down. Clang clang clang, the sound of metal clashing reverberated. Everyone looked, they saw Sarron raised his right arm and blocked the attack with the side of his arm like a blade. Is that the end? Sarron's tone was cold, the right arm like steel slowly exerted force, and calmly raised the huge clamp slowly, as if it was easy. Roar! Another beast roar. King Grant thrust his huge body out, but Sarron did not retreat but advanced, and also launched a collision with his powerful body. Boom! The two powerful bodies collided together, shaking up layers of ripples and waves, and the dust spread in all directions. The first collision had no result, when he stood still. But everyone was stunned. Who would take the initiative to compete with a monster in physical strength? Boom! Another violent collision occurred, but it was King Grant who was knocked back several steps. He let out an angry and unbelievable beast roar. At this time, Sarron launched another collision, instantly knocked King Grant hundreds of meters away. Became the first Ultraman to defeat a monster with physical strength. P.S. Just a little bit will do. Thanks to at 0A1B2C3K095D, at 13271. 2 readers for their monthly tickets. Chapter 31 Demon Minotaur. Void Flash. Here King Grant let out a series of piercing painful wails. Everyone felt it difficult to breathe and fell into a state of suffocation. How could this be the weak blue Ultraman of the Kingdom of Light?